Yep.
Okay. All right. So I didn't rehearse this at all, so you guys are gonna have to help if I miss something. I don't know what slide comes after each, but I do remember sort of the Demetrius going over from his perspective the membership, right? I did get slides from Moray. Serafima sent some, and I know Rob, you've got 10 minutes that you'd like to insert. Um, I forgot if I actually put a slide there. Where did you want to do that at?
I'll leave it up to you, except I just had a ping here to say there's going to be a fire alarm in this place I live in at some point. I think at about, I'm hoping it's up till 9:30, so we should be fine. But if I disappear for about 5 minutes, it's because the bells are ringing around here. So, but I'll try and be around for the whole meeting. But yeah, so slot me in wherever. I mean, we can get it out of the way straight away if you like.
I was gonna say you can take some of my time. What's the title?
It's an SPE tagline.
Okay. Well, that's relative.
I do have some slides to share.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready now?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure I could find them straight away.
All right, we'll look for them now.
Waiting for enter to the meeting.
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat that?
I think there is somebody waiting for the meeting. He said waiting. Robin, I believe.
Oh, really?
I don't have control of it, so I can't let anybody in.
And I can't. And unless there's another Robin, I'm in.
Okay.
So.
Well.
Okay.
Greg, have you got control of this meeting, or was that something Demetrios had?
Yeah, he's on the beach in Greece. Let's give him a call.
Yeah, there was that was a LinkedIn post today about getting calls from the office when you're supposed to be on days off. All right, so let's jump into what the numbers we have here. I assume they've been fairly updated. He's got it till June. So what do we got? The only thing I see going up, everything is overall very healthy. I don't know how you all feel about the overall participation, but certainly from a numbers perspective, things have improved. The student part's great to see, although I think when we talk about Drillbotics, if Fred's going to make it or whoever's giving us an update there, there might be some concerns about that with respect to student participation. It'd be nice to know what the student population thinks about DSATS overall and how much Drillbotics is contributing to that.
Yeah, we need to do some marketing on Drillbotics. I've spoken to the marketing department amongst SPE staff. I think just put something together, even if it's just a one pager that we can all share on social media, because the big issue really is sponsorship, isn't it? I think we get enthusiasm from students, and then most of them can't afford to participate without some help. So I think to some degree it's up to the wider SPE to help with that. So
I know it's on the schedule here. And I saw she's not going to make it. Is anybody going to be able to talk about Drillbotics today? Okay, so I'll take that as a no. But when we get to it,
I can say maybe a few words. I was
okay.
the competition.
Okay, thanks. Great, Eric. All right, so we'll get to that. So if you want, Robin, do you want to jump in with yours? I'll get. You want me to hand you the? Yeah.
Let me share and see if I can pull this up.
Can you take control?
Let
I'll
me-
stop
I'm
sharing.
gonna-
You should have it now. At least I stopped sharing.
Okay, can you see my slides there? Looks as though I'm sharing. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yep.
can see it, but it's not slideshow mode.
Yeah, sure, it will be in a minute. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so this all came about as a result of a request from a. Interesting. I'm going to go back to that. You can see that anyway. It looks as though for some reason in slideshow. Oh, there we go. That explains it. Maybe start on the first slide instead of the last slide. How's that for a brilliant idea? This was a membership request that came out of Europe when they were doing a conference, and they wanted to use something that had been suggested in the past, and I believe had been used once or twice in the past, the use of the title of Society for Professionals in Energy. And it was decided that we really didn't want to do that because we didn't want to change the name of the society. On the other hand, they did want some help in marketing SPE and being able to encourage folks to come to conferences, even in Europe. And so it was decided to put together a tagline work group to see how can we help with that. So the work group came up with a recommendation. It was approved at the board meeting, the one that was in Stavanger 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so this is just an example of, we know what a tagline is and what is it designed to do. So it's just that it's a message really that should be in line with the mission and the objectives of the society. So the tagline that was suggested was solutions, people, and energy. So the idea is that we can use that tagline alongside the logo. And so if you're, well, like a technical section like this, or if you're running an event, or if you're one of the regional sections, such as the Gulf Coast section, this is an option to use this. So it's by no means obligatory. In fact, I'm sure some people will probably avoid using it. But I presented this the other day at the geothermal technical section, and the guy in California said, "Great, yes, I will use this straight away," which you can imagine in California this being useful. So it's available, it's approved, it's in line with the mission of the society. So we felt that was important. It's not distracting from what we do, and it's not distracting really from being a society for petroleum engineers. But it is emphasizing the fact that we are now talking about other sources of energy that require petroleum engineering skills, so particularly geothermal, other things that require drilling, carbon sequestration, hydrogen storage, etc. So these are some examples of how it can be used, either with the Society of Petroleum Engineers written underneath the logo or not, depending on how it, how you would like to use it for the particular application. And there will be a formal way of, so this is not just the Wild West, there'll be a formal way of requesting logo. So if you are, in this case, a technical section or a local section, then there's a process to go through to say, right, this is what I would like the logo to look like with the tagline for my application, and you go through this request process from the SPE. And that's the end of the tagline message. So any questions?
Yeah, just
Hi, everybody.
curious when they were, sorry, go ahead.
This
What
is
we gotta do
Greg.
there?
If you
Greg.
want if you would like one of those logos or a copy of the logo to use, I'm not sure what the process is that Robin was talking about. I don't know if there's a link that you go to, but I do have those. So if you just want to email me and request it, I can get that to you.
Thanks,
And it'll
Greg.
have the DSATS name underneath it. You know, it'll be a specialized logo with the technical section name.
Yeah, so it'll look like, yeah, one of these.
So Robin, what was the I don't know, the mood or was there pushback from like the petroleum engineer people?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically within, as you know, within Europe and to some degree within North America, but less so in the rest of the world, where let's face it, the word petroleum in the title sometimes is seen as not particularly attractive to some parts of the
Sure.
of the population, and so, but we don't want to remove it. I mean, clearly we're walking a fine line here, and neither do we want to look seen to be underhand, if you like. You know, we're not saying that we're not a Society of Petroleum Engineers, but we are saying that there are other things that we're currently working on. And so we wanted to make it, if you like, more inclusive for those that for whom that was a challenge, if you like. And so
I see the rationale. I think it's
yeah.
I think it's good to update it. I wasn't challenging it. I was actually more curious about what the overall, when you look at overall SPE membership, how many are actually, petroleum engineer by degree?
Not me.
Yeah, not that many of us actually, but I don't know, but probably less than 50%. I would
Oh
guess.
gosh.
I could find that out.
I was going to say
thought
it's
it
probably
was-
less than 10.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting in the description slide, Robin, where solutions, people, and energy were described. It talked about subsurface energy, which I think makes a lot of sense, because then you end up with,
Is that the one you mean? Yes, I'll say yes. Spectrum of subsurface energy resources.
yes,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense, because the expertise is all about the subsurface, whether it's drilling or reservoir, whether it's geothermal or oil, whether it's CCUS or whatever. Hey, can you go back to the other slide? I was just wondering if we can take a decision right now and get Greg to make us a logo. Go back to the logo. Yeah, I would vote for the top left, the London section with the solutions, people, energy listed vertically, because it's easier size-wise to use. The other one's getting very wide. If everybody agrees, why doesn't Calvin just ask Greg to make us one right away, and then we have it?
Sure, then it'd be available for whenever you want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like they've taken a lead here, and it looks to me like the top left is the better solution. We know it's DSATS instead of London section, so why don't we just go for it?
Yeah.
Second.
Seeing a lot of thumbs up. So yeah,
Okay.
are there any negatives? Anybody's got any reason not to do it? Okay, all everybody's in favor then. Let's do it.
Okay. And it's up to you where and when you use it. So as I said before, it's not obligatory that you do, but it will be available. So
well, to John's point, I guess we have the website that would be the and then any marketing literature like the symposium, a reception, things like that.
Yeah. I was talking to an academic the other day. I was at the SPU, the Gulf Coast Awards dinner, and he was saying that they were thinking about changing the name of their petroleum engineering department to, I think he called it the Energy Resource Engineering, something like that.
Or natural resources, yeah.
Yeah, I mean so obviously there's, there are other parts of other stakeholders with a similar challenge, and we know that. And obviously addressing it in similar ways, if you like. Right.
Yeah, just the other day, I responded to an IADC survey, which was extremely interesting and extremely well written. And the survey all about ideas and initiatives to better position the industry in the world.
Yeah. I did the same survey.
Yeah, it was
And
well
it
written,
was good.
Robin. I thought it was clever.
I did as well, and it really did give you the opportunity to provide some ideas, which was
Yes.
good. It'd be interested to see what that, what comes from that. It
Yeah,
was
so
almost like I welcomed the opportunity to say what I wanted to say. There aren't many surveys where you think, well, I almost enjoyed that, but
Yes.
that was one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay, well, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
I'll
Thanks,
stop
Robin.
sharing now. Cheers.
That was interesting.
Okay, so I say I'll
The
stay on for as long as I
times,
can. So,
they are changing.
yeah, indeed. Yeah.
All right. So financial update.
Yes, good morning and good afternoon. Okay, I have some slides. I don't know if they were added by chance, but I can share my screen.
No,
Perfect.
they were
Let
not added.
me share my screen. But while we have this here, John did get he may be online, get the PayPal account unlocked. And I believe maybe working still with PayPal because it's never easy to get the money transferred to DSATS,
I
the main
was
account.
I
Yeah,
was
go
leaving
ahead.
that to you, Robert. I was in Europe, so it's really difficult to get on, but I'm back now. I will. Do you want me just to transfer it straight? Everything
Yes,
out? Okay, then I will
that
do
would
that.
be great.
Okay.
And I am having trouble pulling up my slide deck. I apologize. But this is actually pretty easy. We had 2 financial transactions over the last 2 months. And they were both related to the wix.com account. So that's our one for our domain name, spe-dsats.org at around $27. And then our Wix premium plan, which allows us to host the website at $470. Those were the only 2 transactions for all of our bank accounts. Everything else was flat. So if there's no questions, the only other topic I believe I'm going to take offline is there's a Wix fee for marketing email. It's a premium subscription. I believe we use that for our voting and for our mass email campaign. I can't recall exactly how much it is. It's about $128 annually. I just need to coordinate with either Edgar or Murray to transfer that fee. Somebody's paid for it personally, and see if we need to pay for that through the DSATS main account.
And so how much cash do we have on hand?
Yep, let me go back. Is there a particular account that you're interested in?
No.
Okay, total between all of our accounts, we have $77,000, 436.
$77,000?
Correct.
Damn. Okay.
And I think
So what's our runway? Like, are we going to be this time next year? What's our burn rate?
I believe our main account is pretty consistent. That's our DSATS account, because everything we pay for through that is normally supplemented with our sponsorships through the drilling conference or ACTE symposiums. And so that one seems to be pretty steady state. It's at 61,000. We have the roadmap account that sits around 4,500. That's been pretty flat but that's really just maintenance for the website, and John can expand on that more. The DWIZ account's at $500. I don't believe there's any anticipated expenses with DWIZ at the current state. But the one that is of concern is Drillbotics, and that's where we really need sponsorships. It's a significant expense every year when we host the students. We pay for travel and some activities. We went from 20-some thousand to 6,000. So we do not have enough money in the account to sponsor the winning universities like we have in the past in our current standing.
And does that, go ahead.
I was going to ask, do we have enough to enable the winners this year to travel to the drilling conference to present and to take their physical rig with them?
It's difficult to say because let me see. The conference will be in Norway.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it depends on the transportation cost. Last year it was significant because both teams traveled internationally to Galveston, and so those costs were pretty high.
Yeah.
So it really depends on who wins and the location of where the conference is.
Yeah, understood. Thanks.
Okay. Well, that's a good tee up then for the Drillbotics discussion later. Anything else?
Just on that, under the general account or from the Constitution, there is an opportunity for DSATS to, I think it's $5,000 to just pay into Drillbotics. It's not enough to save the day, but it's a contribution opportunity. But the general account is, as Robert says, has been steadily growing because the funding we raise as sponsorships feeds out of mostly the symposium at the drilling conference at a rate of $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 a year, and that's been dropping into the general account, and we haven't come up with a big requirement to spend that on something.
So
Could
go ahead. I
was going to say, if a lot of the money that's piled up is from sponsorships, and we're looking for sponsorship for Drillbotics, I wonder if we could go back to sponsors and ask them if they are okay if we use some of those funds for Drillbotics. I don't know if that's possible or even desirable. I don't know if everybody agrees.
Yeah, I think that'd be a long route because there's quite a few people that have been sponsoring that. I think when we get to Drillbotics, we had a discussion once before and Calvin put some good points forward. I think that we need to come up with a really good marketing deal and go to senior managers in major companies and say, we want a commitment per year for the next X number of years. Because it's, Drillbotics, the guys have been scrabbling to get money, and $500 here and there doesn't make it. The big boys can get $5,000 a year, 10 of them, you got 50 grand. And it needs that long-term obligation. I think it's well enough established and got a great reputation that it's sellable. It's a matter of marketing it to the big boys who can write the checks.
Yeah.
Just for my knowledge, John, thanks for the thing about the 5,000 in the Constitution. What's the backstory? Like why can't it be more? Why is it 5,000?
Well, we put a thing in there originally. I'm not looking at it, so I'm quoting off the top of my head. But we put a thing in there originally that DSATS could underwrite 10,000 just to help fund in the early cycle, help fund Drillbotics. But the amount that would be given in the end was supposed to be paid back from sponsorship. The amount that would be given in the end would be 5,000.
Okay.
But I think if you took 30 grand or whatever's needed out of DSATS, you're going to drain the DSATS general account far faster than it's being built up. So you're pissing in the wind doing that one. I think the real solution is top guys, big checks, long-term commitment. It's a university program. It's getting attention. It's generating interest and top grade students that people are extremely interested in. Companies are very interested in these students because they're smart bunch.
Well, maybe John, continuing on the theme of more marketing required, that DSATS could, fund, co-write, whatever, co-sponsor a marketing campaign that ostensibly helps DSATS, but it's really using Drillbotics as the centerpiece. Because to do it right, it won't be cheap. I'm not saying you need 50 grand to go out and do a marketing campaign, but if we want professionals to do it right, and we're talking storyboards and overall objectives and how are we going to measure success throughout the whole thing, that's what any marketing team would be tasked to deliver. We might maybe DSATS could do something like that where they get something out of it. I hate to say it's so cliche, but it's a win-win. And since there is some money there, we can't pull from the Drillbotics fund to go do marketing for Drillbotics when it's on its knees. So I know this is kind of going in the Drillbotics, so I'll keep moving along here for everybody else. But let's just table that and move down the line.
Yeah, my quick reaction from my experience with DSATS over many years is I think that's a damn smart idea, because then some of the general fund would be used to hire professional. We'd have to contribute with volunteers joining a professional to develop a system that gets long-term funding to Drillbotics. So it's an investment to solve a problem. And I think that's probably far better than us being amateurish about marketing.
Okay, great point. Thanks, John. Okay, moving on to subcommittees. I know Radhika's got a slide. Eric, you're there, sir.
Yep.
What do we got?
So I can say a few words about. Yeah, no, I don't need the screen. So I would just say a few words about Davis. So we produced a paper for the coming ATC meeting, which is describing the demonstration that we did in September 2023. That will be a full description of how the setup was put together and the scope of the demonstration, how it went. So that has been
LinkedIn post, right? You put it on LinkedIn. I think you posted that last week.
Right. Yeah, I put on LinkedIn. I put also a post on the Davis website. So that's in a way to try to get on paper in a way what has been done during this demonstration.
Are you going to be there? Are you making it, Eric?
Yes, I'm coming and presenting.
So you'll make the reception too. That even good.
Yeah. So quite a lot of time has been spent on writing the paper, and then otherwise, so I have two abstracts which are prepared for the SP Drilling Conference concerning Davis. One abstract is about the automatic generation of ADCS functions based on the Davis architecture. And the second paper is about the automatic recognition of drilling activities as an extension to the microstate engine interpretation engine. So they will be submitted shortly, since the deadline for the SP Drilling Conference is next week. Otherwise, so in terms of the preparation of the October demonstration, so it's going on. I have to reduce the number of meetings that I have on my two work streams so that I have enough time actually to work on the preparation of the demo, which is quite substantial. So there is a lot of work to do. Yes, apart from that, so John is continuing his meetings for the contextual data. I think there are good synergies with the workstream from John also on the preparation for the demonstration. So that's about the situation at the moment. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. You're in Stavanger, right, Eric?
Yes.
Well, how come you haven't invited me for a drink or lunch?
We need to
Huh?
we need
I mean,
to meet. Absolutely.
I know you got a lot of meetings. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel better. But okay, I'll have to come hunt you down.
Yeah.
Um,
We can schedule something.
well, I know Rasul's on. I know we bring over Rasul as well. He's here, so wanted to get with you on that. Just your point about I heard through the grapevine that they're going to extend the abstract deadline for the. You're talking about March IDC, right?
Yes, that's
Conference.
correct.
Yeah. So I heard that. Is there anything planned from a DSATS perspective on that event? Is that when the symposium is? Am I missing that?
Yeah, Serafima, I think she's on the call, is leading that effort.
I think I shared this slide as well.
I thought that was for ATC. Did I get that wrong?
No, that's for Stavanger. That's
Serafima is doing symposium in Stavanger, and Maury, with my help, is leading the ATC in New Orleans.
Oh.
The ATC is networking with one presenter. The symposium will be a much bigger deal, or afternoon instead of just an hour and a half.
My bad. Okay. Sorry. Serafima, I missed you up there. Okay. Sorry, Eric, can you say the titles on the two other abstracts you're working on again?
Ooh, I can put that on the chat. I need to put them.
Okay. Yeah, just because you don't have the slide, I was kind of trying to get it where you were at. Okay.
Yep.
All right, thanks. Anybody else for Eric? Okay. So let's do verification and validation.
Yes, thank you, Calvin. So we, it was more or less the same as for the DBIS. So we worked on submitting the manuscript, and you have the title here and the authors, and there is a link on the bottom of the slide with it's on Tuesday morning for those of you attending ATC. And Eric will have the presentation before me. So it's the same link that you can use for both. Yeah, I copied some of the bullet points that we had in one previous slide. So the paper is on early work from the subcommittee, and we introduce an initial framework in the paper, together with some current practices on some of the complex system implementation in the multi-vendor context. So we are not focusing on verification and validation of one standalone system. What we are focusing is on the interplay between different systems from different multi-providers. So complex distributed drilling automation systems. This is what the subcommittee is focusing on, and we are introducing in the paper this as a starting point. So most of the summer went on preparing this, the paper for the full group of authors. So yes, that's it from the verification and validation. We haven't started yet with the regular meetings after summer, so it will be, I think, soon, the next meeting. Yes, any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Please.
Same question I asked Eric.
I'm not based in Stavanger. I'm in Bergen, so I have a good excuse.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But it's just 20 minutes by flight from Stavanger if
Yep,
you want to visit.
I was there I was there last month. I'm jealous. Bergen's nice. Okay.
So yes, please do let me know if you're coming to Bergen. But I have a better excuse.
Well, are you coming to New Orleans?
Yes, I will join the conference
Nice.
in New Orleans. Yes, with
right, so you're
together
the
with
main
Eric
presenter?
Welker. Yes.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thanks very much, Radhika. All right. Moving on. Oh gosh, we get to this section. This is always spends most of our time. What do I have after that? No. All right. So, Sash, no. Who was Eric? You said you might have some.
I can give an update. But before I do that, so I would also like to mention that for the Davis activities, so we worked together with John to put the second revision for the paper about microstates interpretation that was produced for Davis, and which has been submitted for the SP journal. So hopefully that will be the last revision, and that we will pass through the process. So, but that also took some time also to
Yeah, I was gonna
prepare.
say that was some. Yeah.
So then going back to Drillbotics, so the competition happened at the end of June. There was 3 categories for the competition. There is the so-called Group A and Group B. So the Group A is about virtual drilling. So the students need to make some kind of automatic driller, but it is acting against a simulator. And for the Group A, there are 2 sub competitions in a way. One which is about directional drilling, where the students create their own simulator and they try to do that's the directional drilling against their own simulator. And the second one, which is about well control, which is to have an automatic detection of kicks and management of the kick situation afterward. And then it is running on an external simulator, which is the OpenLab drilling simulator. For the Group B, it is about an actual rig, a physical rig, mini rig, and to drill directionally a block of sandstone, which is about 2 foot long, I think, if it's in English units. The students are given 2 targets to reach with just before the competition start, and then they push the button, and then they are not allowed to intervene afterwards. So there were 4 teams participating to the competition. 2 teams for the Group B, one from the University of Clausthal in Germany and one from the University of Calgary in Canada. That's for the physical rig. And then for the Group A, there were also 2 teams, one going for the directional drilling challenge, which was coming from University of Technology in Ghana. And for the well control, it was also the same university, but another group working for the Group A well control. So for the physical rig, the University of Clausthal had actually made a lot of interesting work. They designed their own rotary stable system, and they prepared quite a lot of things. They also prepared a connection to Davis. They exposed all their signals using the semantics that we describe in Davis. They did that by themselves. Where me and Benoit had a short talk to them a few months ago, and they managed actually to go through the documentation and generate their signals. Unfortunately, just before the competition, and that's typical of students, they changed their BHA and they broke everything. So they couldn't really drill successfully. but they had really very, very strong preparation before that. The University of Calgary did manage to drill. Their directional drilling solution is very unclear. That was the first time they were participating to the competition. So then it's not so important in a way that they can solve the directional drilling part. But they broke, I don't remember exactly what they broke, but something broke when they were drilling, and therefore they couldn't drill successfully the block. And then for the Group A directional drilling, so that was a relatively interesting web application that they developed, which was navigating or constructing a well path based on the targets which are given by I think Shashi or Enrique, I don't remember who provide the targets, and they use some machine learning methods actually to navigate to the target. For the well control part, so the team managed to connect to the OpenLab Drilling Simulator, which is in OPC UA, which is already a very nice achievement. Unfortunately, so when they started the pump, the simulator had reacted as it happens actually in reality. That means that actually there was no flow immediately because of compressibility, and then there was a relatively large flow out of the well when the compressibility and the jailbreaking was finished, and the students or the program of the students reacted as if it was a kick, which was not a kick actually. So basically they had something, but it was overreacting, and then they started to manage the kick, and they closed the BOP, but they forget to stop the pump, which means that they fracked the well, and that was completely, well, that was not good for as a well control procedure.
Wow.
So that's about the story, but I would say that even though didn't work as they were expecting, they did a really good job in displaying the curves, getting access to the simulator, which was in Norway, through, well, you can think about Ghana. It's not so easy with internet connections. So they did a really good job. Now the decision of the judge has been that for the Group A, the winner was directional drilling. And for the Group B, the winner is the University of Gloucester. So that's the results of the competition. But I insist on the fact that actually all the teams that done very, very good job. Quite impressive to see how much they managed to produce.
Yeah, if I could just add to that. Yeah. Sorry, have you finished, Eric? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm finished. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was on the calls when, so I watched all the videos, and what's amazing, and you've described it very well, Eric, and clearly none of them were perfect, but it was almost like a work in progress. They all learned a lot. And it was, you know, and clearly they knew what the issues were, therefore there was the potential for them to fix them and move on. And I just think it showed the real value of the whole program is how dedicated they were, and you know, how much they achieved, even though it wasn't perfect. So it was impressive. I agree. Thanks.
Any questions?
My comment is, yeah, my comment's around, there's a human factors component to the contest, right? I thought.
Yes, yes and no.
Yeah.
Last year we had the human factor, and we were associated with the human factor technical section. or maybe that was a year before. But basically, the problem with the human factor is actually that the whole point of the competition is that they should not touch anything. They should just press a button and everything should run completely autonomously. So it's really pushing very far away, actually, the scope of the competition. And when we had a discussion with the representative from the human factor technical section, they were asking, yeah, but how the human interact with it? No, well, actually, there is no interaction because that's the whole point of the competition, that they should not intervene anywhere. So this year, they were much less focused on the human factor part.
I guess the impressive human aspect is the fact that, particularly we saw with the mechanical rigs, how many departments were involved, mechanical engineers and petroleum engineers, electrical engineers, all had to come together to get this thing to work. So from a collaborative point of view, I guess it's very successful. But you're right, the human factors after the fact, when it's working, I guess the whole idea really is that there aren't any human factors because we're talking about automation.
Yeah, but as a team, the students working together coming from multiple disciplines and multiple faculties and things like that, it's amazing that they did manage to put that together.
Yeah, I agree.
So the enthusiasm
Well,
of the students is extremely high.
No, I think, okay, well, I think, we celebrate, we reward success, and we supposedly we're supposed to, celebrate failure, or at least recognize it. And, between the BHA's breaking and, incorrect responses or interpretation, and then, a mistake of not turning something off, I believe are awesome use cases for automation. Not the fact, success is great, but, we kind of take it for granted, but it's more interesting to hear about how they misinterpreted or did this or that from an automation perspective. I don't know how you give a prize for that, but you certainly, if the team did a great job of risk analysis or, failure analysis and wrote a human factors, thesis, obviously very short, that should be recognized. That'd be something that we could support. Sort of like a consolation prize.
I see Mark's got his hand up.
I can't see.
Yeah,
I can't see.
Going back to the previous discussion about support for DSATS, a few years ago, there was a proposal, and it would have been accepted to bring robotics into SPE at large, not just the technical section here, and that got shut down with COVID and the collapse of the oil price in the oil industry. I wonder if and SPE has a lot of resources that the technical section doesn't have. So I'm wondering if it might not be time to see how we could leverage SPE again, because they're always trying to reach out to students, especially, and et cetera.
Yeah, good point. And under the current regime with Terry, the president, he's a very big supporter of robotics and would like to see other disciplines doing something similar. So you're right, Mark. There might be a good time to open up that conversation again. Was there anything written at the time? Was there a proposal that was put to the board at the time?
I was involved with it, Robin. Yeah, so we had lots of discussions, and Jeff Moss was involved, and Fred. We had lots of discussions with, what's his name, the last CEO who retired. And at first, it took months to convince him. And then when he finally said yes, as Mark described, when things turned south in the industry, he dumped it. And, Fred was really upset with that. And I don't think DSATS or I don't think Drillbotics can trust SPE to run it and organize it and do it. I think the only thing you really want from them is them to say, yes, we fully endorse this program. The people who've got their heart in it, who run it, are the ones who make it successful. But SPE just dumped it. They didn't stick by their original agreement. And it took a long time. It took months to convince him to take it on.
Well, of course, now we have a new CEO and a new president. So, but I don't know, as I say, at the time, what the proposal was and how much SPE was expected to be involved, or as you say, John, was it just that, hey, give us the funding and DSATS will
It was,
will
yeah,
do
it was that they would take on the funding. So they would commit to funding it properly, and
right.
they would raise the funds because they have higher access into the major operators, etc., to get these kind of funds.
Yeah,
So
sure.
that's the plan, the game plan. But they dropped it like a hot potato, and
Yeah,
it's bad.
well, I know, I got the message they dropped it, but as I said, we have a new regime now, so it might be time to talk again. See, Eric's got his hand up.
Yes, there is, of course, the organization and sponsorship, but there is another problem also for robotics, is that the number of judges is just decreasing year after year. And I think this year we were only 3 persons to judge the documents which were produced in January. And during the competition, we were not that many people on the call. So I really encourage anyone on the call to volunteer for this, because it's very, very interesting what the students can produce. And it's rewarding actually to be part as a judge also. And our role as a judge is not to judge, actually, is to encourage and to give constructive feedbacks to the students, to be more like mentors. And this role is very, very useful in both ways, and both for the students and for the people getting engaged. So really get involved. That would help everybody.
Yeah, I have to say, Eric, you were excellent on those calls at providing them with encouragement and technical feedback. And you're right, it would be good if more of us could do that. Calvin, no, you got your hand up.
Well,
yeah.
So, I mean, don't tell me there's not judges in our industry that can, I mean, I went through this article, and between the drilling contractors and the operators, they're out there. And so it's the age-old issue about, you know, why are we suffering?
Yes, sometimes this requires us maybe to pick up the phone and ask people. Sometimes people don't get around to responding, but if you ask them pointedly, then a lot more people will volunteer.
So Robin, you guys, I apologize sometimes. Not apologize because I've missed some meetings. So maybe some of this is covered, but this conversation here feels a bit deja vu about SPE and all of that. And I thought, Robin, that you were going to go back and maybe you had something on some sponsorship around this. No? Okay. Yeah. You're giving me that funny look. So maybe I was just wrong, but I thought with your new role that there was going to be an avenue. I know we also had an issue with, what's his face? The guy that did all the recording and holds the video, and there was a payment issue, and we had a pretty heated discussion about that. What's that guy's name? The one that does the David Gibson.
Yeah,
the Gibson fellow. Have we made any?
Is David on the call? I thought I saw him in the chat. Maybe not. Sorry, go ahead, Calvin. Yeah.
So
no, maybe not. Okay, sorry.
I don't think David would be on this call, would he? Unless he was invited. I'm missing something.
No, he's in. Yeah, he's listed. If you pull up the people
for invites,
he's listed as people added to the chat.
He's not on the participants list.
No, okay.
Okay, so just from we want to. It seems like we should be having a
Yeah,
separate
so
team to work on drillbotics. I don't know where we're at on it, so maybe I should not take time to talk to somebody on this call. I can have a call with offline if they feel it's more appropriate. But there was a Gibson factor from marketing that had a lot of good footage that it seemed to be held ransom, is the way I looked at it. Has anybody got any progress on that or update?
The only person might be Robert Darby. I think he's left the call.
I thought Fred was. No, Fred wasn't anymore. Somebody else was. Was it Robert, John, that was going to go to David and try to sort something out?
Well, Robert's the financial guy, and Sashi took over as the Fred was leading Drillbotics, and Fred has remained, well, so far he's remained involved. I mean, he's got his passion in it.
Sure. Okay. Well, again, sorry if I'm out of touch, out of tune here.
To answer your question, Calvin, I've approached both the president, who is supportive, and as a result, I approached the Dana Attilio marketing, and she agrees, yes, we can do this. So I guess what I need to do is call again and say, right, what are we doing? Because as I say, I'm not sure that it needs a lot. If we can align with David Gibson, I'm sure he's got some great footage that we could use. Sorry, that's the fire alarm going off. So I'll call David Gibson and see where that's at. I'm just going to turn the mic off.
Okay. I can't hear anything, but.
Oh, good. It's just me then. Yeah, there's a.
All right. Well, Rob, maybe I can get with you and kind of get up to speed. We'll do that.
I think that Demetrios was significantly involved in the Gibson thing,
yes.
So I'm not sure what he knows about.
Yeah, John. Thanks. You're right. Demetrius was.
I think there's probably 3 or 4 issues coming together here under one initiative, and that is marketing and funding Drillbotics. That is attracting enough judges. That is getting the David Gibson material solved. And that is, how is it going to work with SPE in general? What format is it going to take that SPE gives an umbrella to DSATS to help move it all forward?
This is John. If SPE can take it over, then it still remains DSATS has to commit to the judges. So I think it's automation. So we would have to commit to providing judges. We have gone out to the Department of Energy asking them to take it over. And unfortunately, the person we were talking to got promoted to be director of the GTO office. So thing got dropped. Wow. She was a bit more preoccupied. We could go back out over there to the Department of Energy if you wanted, but that would mean changing the focus to more towards the geothermal bent, which we're not sure how to do, heat rocks and stuff. But I think DSATS, regardless of who takes over sponsorship, has to come up with the judges and commit to the judges. And perhaps that would make it easier for the SPE to take it over. If we make a statement like that, we will provide judges.
When you say commit to the judges, what do you mean commit? Commit what?
Our membership, DSATS membership, would have to commit to providing judges for the competition going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
The other alternative is to go to a company, for example, Shell, BP, or somebody, and say that, hey, we'll change it into the Shell or BP Drillbotics competition, for if they take over sponsorship. Then you might get judges along with it.
Well, I'll talk to Robin. It sounds like John, the Johns maybe, and Demetrios here. To take this on at least from a, if I'm just thinking about the marketing / overall health of robotics, which comes down to money, which comes down to marketing. So
I
let me,
disagree with that a little bit. I think the key thing that is missing is a leader. There's no ownership. All of us are looking to pass this to somebody else. So we need another administrator like Fred that's willing to own it and to throw their energy into it. You know, as long as it's something that somebody else does, then it's going to continue to struggle.
well, it struggled with Fred. I mean, I'm not saying we don't need a leader, but I don't think that's been the issue. Fred's put his heart and soul in this thing, and here we are, you know. So,
Well, that's not quite true.
what's
I mean,
is it chicken and the egg or what?
Yeah, no. So Fred put a lot of effort into this and handed off to Faisy was taking it over, but it really does need. I think Matt's quite right. It does need one name and a draw on the who's willing to sit down and get everything done. And it's not a trivial job. This is a big deal. It takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, I think, John, that Sashi hasn't been able to stand up in the same manner that Fred did now, whether it's his personal drive, or whether it's his company commitments that prevent that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think but that's what I mean. It's not a trivial undertaking. It's quite substantial amount of time you have to devote to this.
I think that we need to do more marketing with robotics in the companies, and what is the benefit for the company to support that project. I'm trying to promote robotics here in Latin America, especially in Argentina, but I face the problem with the universities because you need to find inside the university the group in order to push to get the team made, and it's not very easy because you should have to find out people to be involved in that, and this is what I am facing the problem. So I talked to Sashi, and we will do a presentation to the university and to the student chapters, try to promote. Also, I try to include this in a team inside the Argentinian sections to try to have in the monthly meetings what we are doing in order to promote the robotics. Because if you try to tell to the new guy, well, you know, we have robotics, but you need to find the funds in order to get everything to be done, then that discourages the people, I think, especially the young people. If you put just something to them, they will go ahead and they try to promote. Once we have enough people involved, then the other people is going to be, I think it's going to be easier to get the jobs and everything.
Oh, on the funding and so on of the teams. I mean, the Clausthal team was Baker sponsored that team, right? So Baker Hughes, they came out and they asked for sponsorship, and it's not much. I think there's a cap put on it and a limit in the guidelines and so on. But it's a lot of advice and so on that goes on. And so it's up to the university teams to go out and seek sponsorship. And quite honest, there's a lot of people. It's not much money and more advice and stuff like that. So it's quite easy to get. I think I don't think there's an issue there. Nestor, so maybe if you'd point that out to the teams, so you go ask for any oil company to sponsor them in Argentina.
Yes, but not only the sponsorship, is just to get the people from the university involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, for example, here in the university, we have the petroleum engineer, but robotic needs not only petroleum engineer, they need also electronic engineer, mechanical engineer involved. So you need to deal with different subjects, different career.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and it is collaborative, and that's how it works out. I think Eric already, or somebody already on the call pointed that out. These
So
these
in
are
order,
these are multidisciplinary teams. Huh?
yeah, and it's great. So you see how much the people can learn is a great initiative. But for the student point of view, they want to finish the school and they get a degree. So being involved in this project, if it is not related with the university, with the career, they don't. I don't think how they can see the benefit.
Well, I can tell you that once we heard that Klausthal had actually won, there was a flurry of emails went through Baker. Yeah. So in terms of recognition and possible career opportunities is definitely there. Yeah.
Yes, I understand that very well, but we need to make they understand that.
Yeah.
I think this
So, okay,
comes back, yeah, it comes back to the marketing thing, because one of the outputs should
Yeah.
be a package that someone like Nestor can take and just use and go and communicate. And it provides all that kind of information that a lot of people involved in Drillbotics have in their heads of the benefits, but articulated into a package that can be used.
Yes.
I can just mention that I started to introduce Drillbotics at the University of Stavanger quite a few years back, and I faced exactly those problems that the faculty heads actually didn't want to talk to each other. So we are talking about silo thinking in
Yes.
drilling, but I think in the university is really deep silos. But it took some time, so 2 or 3 years, and then it was much better. So
The
there is a
point is,
convincing to do.
the point is that universities see the benefit. For example, there is the other competition at the SPE. What's the name is?
Petrobol.
Yeah, Petrobol. So Petrobol is very nice because it's only for petroleum engineers. So the University for Petroleum Engineers, they want to participate and they have support from the university itself. And this is what I am seeing. For example, Petrobol, we have a lot of team in Argentina already. Because that has been marketing, and they took enough force now in order to get more people involved. But robotics involve different faculty, which is more difficult to find how the university is going to support and what is the benefit for the university in supporting that. Again, marketing.
But you need
All
to
right,
find a
so
professor in drilling.
I'm gonna do master sergeant here and just look at the time check, because I think this is a difficult issue. We don't seem to be making a whole lot of progress on it. And I'll talk with Demetrius about maybe, and if you guys are okay with it, maybe we do something aside parallel to this around just taking drill box. Whoever's interested, put out a call, willing to share what they're sharing here. Maybe perhaps in a more structured format, and see if we can come up with some action items. I know we have some off the top of our head, but like Matt's saying from the beginning, if there's no real leadership, then we're just going to be treading water here. So I take your point, Matt. I'll attempt to pull it together and see what we can come out. I'm not volunteering to take drill box. Don't get me wrong. I don't have the time. I wish I did, but I don't. But I certainly can put some time into trying to provide a formatted plan of action. Okay, so moving on to
Thanks,
upcoming
Colin.
events.
No, just saying thank you. Good plan.
Cheers. Okay, so we got two. What do we got here? We got the big event, ATCE, which I think we'll talk about next, and then of course we've got the 2025 issue. We got to talk about that too. I think I did put the slide in. Apologies if I didn't. I'll bring it up. There's a webinar coming up. Did I see an email where we didn't have a format or topic for the next webinar? No? It says TBD here. I saw, maybe Greg can help, because it may have come from him, but somebody was saying, hey, you know, you're due, if you want a webinar slot, put in your subject and fill out the questionnaire kind of thing. Do we have a
Yeah.
topic for October 4th?
If we don't, we need to get it done damn quick.
Okay, so nobody's saying anything here, so they're kind of like me. Just as a side note, what happened with Deep? Besides, I know he's not in the country. Is that what happened basically, that he can't put the time in? Did I miss that?
Deep, I don't know whether he can or he can't. He didn't. And so Maury and I picked up the ATCE event, and Demetrios nominated Maury as the new program chair. So Maury was approved by the board to be the program chair replacing Deep, and Maury has led, with my support, the ATC plan, which I think he gave you a slide on, by the way. I think you've got it, the next one down.
Here it is. Can you see it?
Yes. So basically, it's a 1.5 hour networking session. We struggled with a number of things right up front. One is catering cost. The other is sponsorship, because it was so late. So basically now we have one speaker, Suboda Saxena, he's Senior VP of Neighbors Drilling. So he's going to present about integrated systems and looking where's the business heading, which will be very interesting because of what they've done. And he'll spend about 20 minutes on it, and then there'll be Q&A, and then there's an hour of networking. We're only going to supply 2 drinks just to manage the budget. So you get 2 tickets. The bar won't be open until he's finished. So after he's finished, the bar will open. There'll be high tables. People will be able to go and network. After your 2 drinks, it'll be a cash bar, so you can drink more if you wish. Maury did actually secure a $1,500 sponsorship from CCAL, which took us from a negative to a small positive. So this thing will come out as a positive outcome financially by limiting it. We cut the food. We declined that. The food was going to be $4,000 or $5,000, and we'd have to go scrabble to get sponsorship or go bust. And we also, it comes after the SPE networking event on the exhibition floor. So there's going to be snacks at that. And then people are probably going to go for dinner afterwards. So it also seems a bit like a wasted effort to provide food. So yeah, it's going to be slightly net positive. It's 2 drinks only. It's networking. And as you can read there from the abstract, Suboda he's a great presenter. He's very knowledgeable. He's very articulate. Already we're seeing that he's attractive. I don't know if Greg has updated numbers. There were only 10 people registered when we started to pick this up and sort it out.
Okay, thanks, John.
Maury apologizes. He's in a client meeting. I was just texting with him. So I told him, he said, you have the slide. And I told him I would just give a quick update. He's the leader of it. He's the new program chair for North America.
Okay, so I have a question. Is 2 drinks enough?
Here, bring cash.
And hey, everybody,
Okay.
This is Greg. I just checked, and we have 11 registered so far. So the max is, I think, 100. We have 11 so far, and I have yet. I'm going to be sending out the official announcements, SPE wide, here in the next week or so. I'm waiting for these last-minute sponsors to drip in, because I need to add their logos to the announcements. But once those go out, we'll probably see those start jumping up quite a bit. So we have 11 so far, and that's without any kind of promotion whatsoever. So I think we'll have a pretty good turnout once we get the announcements out.
Yeah, I think our
So
Greg, our uphill battle is that people have already registered for the conference without registering for DSATS. So they then have to go back in and add that registration through the registration system
Right.
because they can't pay at the door. So yeah.
And the announcement, the announcement will have that direct link in there so they can just click on it and go register. So it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get other sponsors. Maury, he asked the CEO of CCAL and got a positive response, and he organized that. I don't know that we're going to get other ones, and I don't know that now we're seeing ourselves net positive, and this is not normally a big fund generating event. I think it's probably worthwhile just to announce as soon as possible to get more people signed up.
Yeah, because I can send a reminder if we do get us, because I don't see that we've received that sponsorship yet. I haven't received anything from the registration staff. They send me an email when they get a sponsorship. And what I can always do is I can just send out a reminder. And if we get a sponsor between the initial announcement, I can add it to one of the reminders that I send out, after the fact. So
that makes sense to me.
Okay, well, I did my part. I did talk to the CEO of Drill Docs, and he agreed. So you got another sponsor.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. CEO of Drill Docs.
But I want another set of drinks.
Right.
It's conditional. And the food has to be popcorn.
I'll be handing out
the tickets. You can do popcorn.
So if you're nice, I'll flip you an extra ticket.
If I'm nice, what?
I'll flip you an extra ticket for a drink.
Okay. All right. I want some popcorn. Okay. Popcorn. We got to have a popcorn machine. That gets everybody going. Okay. Well, I'll get the link working and I'll sign up.
The big thing is just for those potential sponsors, have them, they have to go through that sponsorship gallery on the ATC website to sponsor. So need to push them in that direction.
So you're going to, okay. So all right. So what's the action item here, Greg?
Just for sponsors to access, if they want to sponsor, there's the sponsorship gallery on the ATC website. I'll put the direct link in the chat here so you can have it to share with anybody who might need it.
Yeah, do that.
But yeah, the big push is just to get as many sponsors as you can. The more, the better.
So anybody else nobody else can put up some bucks. I know Hess is still trying to get sold, but surely they got to have some money there, Matt. Huh?
So I'm doing mine on my end from the AI driller side.
All right. Okay, where's that chat? Let's hear that chat. Let's get that chat going.
And there's I put the link in the chat. Kind of long, but.
Chat. Here we go. Let me pull up because I know if I don't, it is a long link. Wow. Is this it?
And if you scroll down, you'll see the two. You'll see the technical section receptions, including
DSATS networking event.
There's two different levels, 1,500 and 3,000. And they click on that and it just takes them through the process.
Man, we got some competition. Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Greg. All right, just finishing up. I think I did forget the symposium slide, the 2025 one. Seraphim, are you on the call? I'll bring it up in the email here while you
I can talk about it.
My bad.
Well, while you bring that up, hey, Calvin, I got a quick idea. Curtis Cheatham from Corva might be a good presenter for that webinar. He has done one before on automation, and he's coming from that data processing and their methodologies of predictive drilling. So it could be an interesting one, and he's a competent guy, good speaker.
So
Yep.
what's the, go ahead.
No, tell me when it's
Can-
ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you see it? Yes.
Yep.
Let me get. All right.
Yeah. No, it's well, we had just a meeting yesterday, so it's all work in progress. The date of the symposium is 3rd of March next year, so it's still some time. The location is Stavanger Forum. But I think from where we're standing, we will settle on the format would be to have actually external speakers to the industry, 3-4 external speakers, and we each of them could present for 30 minutes, and afterwards followed with a debate and discussion. The idea is to pull into, there's quite a lot of initiatives in Norway, with automation and, use of the technology in the other industries. And there is a variety of them that we're looking at, starting from warehouses or milk production to autonomous ships and others related to that. So we kind of identified potential areas and speakers and trying to prioritize them now to bring, I guess, the most interesting in the top list, and let's see also who would agree. But we believe that maybe Norway it will be easier to bring external speakers to share their knowledge on what have been done. So on the left part you can see there's a preliminary overview of the the outline, but we will have to define it completely so that we can share it on the website. But the idea is also to touch a little bit on the new technologies like AI and machine learning. How do they play in this in the area of automatization? If like automation, if we change anything from what we're doing, do we benefit from them? Bring along, maybe don't include them. So, but we will share some sort of framework to the external speakers, maybe with some questions or ideas or problems or boundaries that we see maybe in oil and gas industry, so that they can maybe respond. How do they do that? Can relate to that in when they deliver their speeches. So basically, kind of the knowledge sharing session and inspiration in a way, or maybe some solutions found there as well. So that's the thinking. And the preliminary budget, it's just we just started. It's but found the prices for catering. So, but we need to see a little bit what price we set. But if we set the same price as it was 2 years ago, I think we will be going $800 plus. But we'll see. We need to verify more the number.
Sounds interesting. It does. I have 2 questions. First one is The View Outside. I think it's a great title. I like it. Could we challenge them to look inside and from their, let's say, either personal perspective or what little they know about the industry or a lot, they say how we could improve? In other words, make the connection to us, as opposed to just sitting outside. Here's how we do it. Also tell us how they think we could do it.
Yeah, I think, but that's what we try to do with the framework. Maybe share, say, look, we have these issues
okay.
with like these barriers, right? For example, for adoption of automation in oil and gas. Can you relate? Can you maybe advise? Or
Okay, I got you. That's good.
Yeah, through this kind of make them look inside.
Yeah, that'd be great if they put some time into it. It might be, I mean, they'll maybe pick obvious things like well control, but nice. You want to hear my second question?
Sure.
Are you in Stavanger?
I'm in Bergen. You have to you have to join, you have to take a
All
trip
right.
here.
You're not coming down. Okay. Well, you got any concerns? You need any help? You good?
I think it's okay for now. Yes, I think
Okay.
we're good. Eric is also, yeah, we're both organized, so I think we're in good hands.
All right. Well, I'm just watching time here. That is the last slide, I think. No, there's conclusion. We have a conclusion slide. So here is Dimitrios's conclusions. We didn't talk about number 2 in terms of the engagement. It's not where we'd like it to be. That's probably another big topic. Probably could throw the word marketing in there again, which is what we just talked about in number 3. So yeah, chicken and the egg, leadership versus marketing versus dollars. That's been, I think, well established in terms of challenges. Build on the momentum that DWIS has at the moment. So anybody have a comment on that? Nope. Okay. Well, then to close out, we'll talk, meet again September 12th. I'll leave the floor is open for last minute comments by anybody.
I just think that the symposium that Seraphim described there is a good move, because I think it's time to get the outside view again. People have liked that in the past, so I think that's very positive.
Thanks, John. Well, guys, and girls, thanks for the time and the support, and we'll see you in about a month's time.
Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Calvin. Bye now.
Goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.